Welcome to Headcanon. I am your host, the Fat Mantis. What we need to discuss today is the Colin Trevorrow version of Episode 9. That's right, he was the former writer and director that was to write and create the final installment of the saga of Star Wars. And unfortunately, he was let go because of creative differences. You know, they needed a sure thing, a surefire win, so they got J.J. Abrams. Apparently, a script has leaked, and there is a lot of talk whether this is fake or not. What I've seen in it, there's a lot of it that seems like it's fan fiction and a lot of it that seems super legit. The major question on everyone's mind is it better from what we've got? Now, the first thing I want to talk about is scripts in general. I don't know if any of you work in the industry, if any of you work on any situation where you have a script and you have to produce it. You have to realize that not all scripts are easily imagined. And there are very often you don't know the product you're getting until you've actually created that piece of art. So you've actually spent time and energy and money putting it out there. So just because we're reading fun things and our imaginations are exploding does not mean that it would have been executed correctly. So it's so easy to always say, the grass is always greener. I wish this would happen. I wish this would happen. I mean, we all do it. I think we all, our imaginations run wild. But we're going to go into each part individually, and I'll tell you if I think it would have been better or would have been worse. But ultimately, I just want it to be known that I love the rise of Skywalker. We're going to get into Luke Skywalker. Now, a lot of people were upset about The Last Jedi and the final verdict of what they did with Skywalker. Now, in the first movie, they had already destroyed the futures of characters we loved, namely Han Solo and Princess Leia. They fell in love, they had a child. Apparently, Disney decided to make them such bad parents, their child goes to the dark side, goes on a killing spree, and starts destroying all things that are holy and good in the world. And then in The Last Jedi, we're like, well, Luke will save the day, Luke will bring it together, but no such luck. He has continued the cycle of being a loser that the Jedis have, and he's become a hermit, and he's given in. And there was no happy ending for him, and he ruined the school. He's a bad teacher, he's a bad uncle. There's almost implications that he could be a child molester, standing over his sleeping nephew with his lightsaber in his hand. What is that a metaphor for? Right? So in Colin Trevorrow's script of the third one, he was going to have Luke Skywalker continuously haunt Kylo Ren, as he actually said in The Last Jedi, "You strike me down in anger, I will stay with you forever." And his Force Ghost later on would constantly, throughout the movie, keep challenging Kylo, constantly giving him issues. He's basically fighting a phantasm, but he can't defeat him because he's a being of spiritual energy. And we would have a lot more Luke Skywalker. Quite frankly, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. I love this concept. I would like to see him redeemed, and I would like to see more good moments for our man Luke. Something good has to come out of these original characters that we love so much. And I really like that it sticks to the line that was spoken in The Last Jedi. Next one, Rose Tico has a major part. She remains in the custody of Finn, as in she's a character who gravitates around him. So a major part of the story is that our heroes would hijack a Star Destroyer, and using their collective knowledge and understanding of Imperial technology, they would board it all with rebels who were all in disguise, and they would go back to Coruscant, where it all started, where galactic government is supposed to happen. And they're going to go there, and they're going to disconnect the communications grid that is blocking their ability to call for assistance from the rebels' forces across the galaxy. Now, I am going to have to give this a thumbs up. Now, I don't know how much of Rose Tico is actually in the script, but I will say, not loving Rose Tico, that itself is a thumbs down. However, this whole concept that they get to go back to Coruscant relates back to the prequel trilogy, the center of government and all these things there. I absolutely love it. And I love that there's an explanation as to why people didn't respond to Leia's call for help in The Last Jedi. Next, there is actually a Broom Boy reference. While battling on Coruscant, after Finn and Rose are able to take down the communications block, and they send a communication to all the rebels across the galaxy, one by one, different groups of people are assembling, getting into ships, and they come to rescue them on Coruscant for a massive epic space battle above the heavens of Coruscant. During their time trying to hold their position in a First Order headquarters, they find a school of Force-sensitive children who are going to be brainwashed to be the next generation of the Knights of Ren. And Finn and Rose save the children, and one of the children turns out to be Broom Boy himself. You know, the First Order had the foresight to start collecting these children and kidnapping them. I'm going to give this a thumbs up as well. I like that these are direct correlations back to The Last Jedi, and it didn't completely take a poodoo all over The Last Jedi. That you know, they're able to redeem some parts of it. Next, there would be a Palpatine experience. Now, he has nothing to do with Rey in this version of it. However, he would appear via hologram, as he was so famously doing in the original trilogy. This time, he would appear in a Sith holocron that our man Kylo would get in Castle Vader, very similar to him finding the Wayfinder. And I'm guessing that's where that imagery came from. Then the hologram would tell him, you know, it was a message originally meant for Vader. And he says, in case I ever die, the true source of all the dark side is Sith Master known as Tor Valum, who lives in a planet called Remicor. Go see him, and he will give you access to all the great powers. Rey and Poe apparently go and try to hunt him down and stop him. And in this event, it turns out that this is not just a normal Darksider. This is a 7,000-year-old giant Cthulhu-like monster. The big problem that I have with this is, for the movies, this does not line up with the normal essence. I don't like having to call back to Cthulhu. A lot of movies do it, and they do it badly. You know, let the Cthulhu mythos be its own thing, while Star Wars be its own thing. And also, the existence of the creature seems to violate the rule of two, that there's another Sith Lord out there. So it doesn't fully make sense, although, you know, they're never really clear about what's going on with the rule anyway. But I would say, ultimately, I'm going to have to give this a thumbs down. Next, Hux. Hux having a bigger part where he becomes the Chancellor, the Supreme Chancellor of the Senate. And that he actually has scenes where he's in the Senate and he's actually controlling things. And I'm going to give this a thumbs up. Really liked it. I really don't like that they threw away Hux's character. But he should have had a better or a bigger part in the third one. And just getting shot like that, that didn't work for me. But you know, this Supreme Chancellor stuff, I am loving this. Next, they go to Mortis. Kylo Ren wants to go murder the son of Mortis and become the source of all dark side, where he is unable to murder the son. However, she is able to commune with the place of the daughter, which has been replaced by the spirit of Anakin Skywalker. They're able to send to the spiritual heaven where she sees Anakin Skywalker. He would bestow powers upon her so that she could defeat Kylo in battle. And there would be no redemption for him. He would be cut down like a sucker. Now, I love the Mortis arc in Clone Wars, absolutely. I'd say one of the best. Great stuff. Adds to the mythology as a whole. I don't know if it's ready for a movie. Now, if they had been sowing the seeds that these Force deities exist and that there is a Mortis, a legend of Mortis could have been mentioned by someone anywhere else in the trilogy, it would have worked real well. But for it to come out of nowhere, I think it's too EU. I'm gonna have to give that a thumbs down. Not digging that very much. You know, there seems to be a lot of gold in this, and I do kind of wish that, you know, more of it was poached. You know, Colin Trevorrow went from being a co-writer of the film, and more of his story was squeaked out and pushed aside to the point where he got less and less credit as Chris Terrio got more. But you know, so much in there that I would love to see. What is the best rendition of Episode 9? I am going to say the best rendition lies in between them. I really wish I saw Coruscant. I really wish we got to see a Stolen Star. I really wish we got to see the Force-sensitive kids. But still, I like the return of Palpatine. I don't like this third Sith Lord coming out of nowhere. I don't like that he's a tentacle monster. I just don't think that it really fits in, or Mortis. Those are my thoughts on the Colin Trevorrow script. There's a lot of good stuff in it, also a lot of bad. Ultimately, I still like the movie that we got from Rise of Skywalker, and personally, I'm really hoping that this extended edition is a real thing. But what did you guys think of the script? Please let me know in the comments. Now remember to like, share, and subscribe. Go forth, love God, may the Force be with you, and have a beautiful day. Ciao for now, bitches.